All right, what is going on? Back with another video. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Just got finished listening to the Coach Clay Helton press conference going into the 2025-2026 season. And I must say, listen, I know that there's a lot of ups and downs when it comes to Georgia Southern football, but I tend to be on the positive side of things, all things considered, even though I was upset at Coach Clay Helton for the Troy game. Those type of games, it is hard to forgive. But nevertheless, the press conference sound promising. All the guys who are coming back, the things that he talked about, the coaching personnel changes, and looks like it looks like from what I hear, looks like it's going to be a solid season if everything goes the way that he wants it to go. But everything is played on the field. Everything is based on how players respond, how they practice, how they make practice into perfect, and how they perform and make wins instead of losses. So everything is on the field at the end of the day. Also, the coaching needs to continue to be on the up and up. Seemed like the coaching was okay overall last season, going on to 8 wins. Did lose the bowl game, which was kind of a sour taste in everybody's mouth. But like I said, Coach Clay Helton knows how to get people motivated. Like for me, just listening to him in his somewhat monotone voice, it was uplifting to hear that we're going to have some consistency across the board when it comes to personnel. Even with all the changes, J.C. French coming back, got O.J. Arnold, Marcus Sanders. You still have, even though our tight ends was not necessarily a big factor last year, you still got guys like J.P. McCallum coming back. The defensive line is bigger and going to be a little bit more stronger. One thing I did like was the fact that the guys who they did recruit and was committed were a lot of guys in that front seven. And bringing a defensive line coach coming in, I think he came from the Las Vegas Raiders. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment section. But to bring somebody like that with NFL experience back down to the college ranks and getting these guys on the defensive line back in I ain't gonna say back in order, but to get these guys on point to where we can get after the quarterback. And then you got a lot of defensive backs coming back that are after losing Mark Stampley, and you still have some defensive backs that's coming back that's going to be in position to do some great things. Losing Stampley, losing TJ Smith was much of a bummer, but that's what happens in the transfer portal. Thank you, TJ Smith, for all the things you've done. And even one of my favorite players, Tyrell Davis, which was able to make some changes the time that he was here, transitioning to the Coach Clay Helton regime. Losing those type of guys is kind of a bummer, but bringing more guys back and look like we're going to be on point when it comes to that as well. My main concerns are the linebackers. You lose Marquise Watson Trent, that's going to be a big issue. And Coach Clay Helton talked about that. He talked about trying to get the linebacker position back on point to where it could be that top tier status that we had last season, and that's going to be a challenge. Also on the offensive side, I think he talked a little bit more about getting the running game back to going again. You lose Jalen White. O.J. Arnold was up and down last year with injuries, but you still have Teo, you still got Bryce, you got Terrence Gibbs coming back. So he talked about getting that in line as well. So all things considered, the team looks like it's going to be a solid group of guys that can, at the very least, repeat another 8-win season. At the very least, I don't see anything less than 8 wins. And I don't even know the schedule, but just the way this team is built, and I'm looking at the rest of the Sun Belt, not saying that there are bad teams in the Sun Belt, because it doesn't matter how bad a team is. When you play a team in the conference of the Sun Belt, you're liable to lose. And we saw that, on a couple of occasions last season. So, but when I look at our rivals, and I will say this, looking at our rivals, looking at a Georgia State, looking at Appalachian State, and even in some cases, if you want to look at the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina, I just don't think they can compete with what we have on paper. Could I be wrong? Yes, but bringing all of these guys back who were pretty much formidable last year, and we beat, we beat all three of those teams last season, and it looked like we're going to be a little bit better. Bringing all these receivers back, bringing the offensive line, that we have, the running game. If you can give O.J. Arnold some space, you're going to be in a great position. So all of this right here is, it looks really good for Georgia Southern. And the way that he was talking, it just makes you think like, all right, look, we just have to take care of business. We can't be shooting ourselves in the foot. I know all this talk sounded great. And for me, I love the way that he put everything into perspective. But you got to win these games, man. I mean, you don't lose the Old Dominion at that time. You don't lose Detroit. I mean, looking at how the Sun Belt Championship went, we could have been holding up that trophy, But, hey, it is what it is. You just got to continue to keep pushing on. And I think he got everybody in the right direction to push to that point to where we can at the very least, look at 8 wins minimum. I would like to get a Sun Belt Championship this year and, just continue to get better from the year past, but you got to take it one game at a time. So I know I said 8 wins, but you got to take it one game at a time, so it's kind of contradictory. But on a serious note, not gonna say serious, but on a realistic note, we can't go backwards. Not trying to go backwards. So 8 wins, you got to get there. And we'll just push it from there. So we'll see how it goes. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm here working and I gotta move my truck because it is my turn to back into this warehouse door so they can take the stuff off my truck. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm gonna get up out of here. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everybody who's still been rocking with me, even with all the gaps in the content. The content is gonna rev up because football season is coming really close, and we're going to talk about the spring game that's coming up in April and all that good stuff. We'll talk about all that shortly down the road. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.